400th race in series history. And it's also a very special day, and I'm happy to be joined down on the grid. 400th Indy Lights race. And this weekend in the Verizon IndyCar Series, we have a graduate of the Mazda Road to Indy. You were racing in this series last year, Zach Veach, 6 years on the Mazda Road to Indy. Just speak to me about the incredible development level that this series provides to young drivers like yourself.
Well, we couldn't do it if it wasn't for the Mazda Road to Indy, and it's a little bittersweet moment for me knowing that I'm missing out on the 400th race, because I know I got a lot of those in Indy Lights, building up to this. But the whole Mazda Road to Indy, from USF 2000 Pro Mazda through Indy Lights, is what prepares us to have that chance in the Verizon IndyCar Series. And if it wasn't for Indy Lights, I wouldn't have had my test with Carpenter last year at Sonoma, and I wouldn't be here this weekend. So, I can't stress enough how important it is. And, these guys are the future. This is the highest junior step in America. So after this, it's the big leagues.
Well, Zach, you say it exactly right. This is probably the most unique driver ladder system of its kind in the world for Formula car, closed-fender cars, whatever. This series literally is designed to take drivers out of karting or whatever they raced as kids and promote them to the Verizon IndyCar Series. You're making your debut today in the Verizon IndyCar Series, the same day as the 400th Indy Lights race. It's pretty incredible day. What are your emotions like? How excited are you to finally get this under your belt?
This is an 18-year-old dream for me, so to finally be here is very, very special. The circumstances are not how I wanted it to be. Our thoughts, of course, with J.R. Hildebrand, and I got the call on Tuesday that I'd be racing this weekend. So it's been since last October I was in an Indy Lights car or a race car of any sort. So being thrown in this weekend's been a big task, but we're learning every session and just going to do the best we can here in the race, preparing for the month of May.
Zach Veach, thank you so much for the time. Folks, a true graduate and product of the Mazda Road to Indy, showing exactly what this series presented by Cooper Tires is capable of. Zach, thank you for the time. Best of luck. We have Colton Herta right behind us. We're going to try to talk to him really quick. He scored a win in St. Petersburg, youngest winner on the Mazda Road to Indy in Indy Lights. Starting from the pole position here today, Colton, what is the expectation? Kind of a rough race yesterday. What are you thinking we can get done in this one?
I think we got to go for the win. We're starting on pole. We got new Cooper tires, and it's a bit of a learning experience yesterday, but we're ready to go for it today.
All right, Colton Herta just turning 17 years old, a few days after his win in St. Petersburg. He will lead the field to the green flag. And then I'm going to grab just one other person here. I think we got Kyle Kimball walking around from Mazda Motorsports, manager of operations at Mazda. Kyle, I talked to John Doonan yesterday during the MX-5 Cup race. Mazda is truly taking the bull by the horns and getting young kids into professional racing. You guys are helping a lot of kids' dreams come true.
First of all, this is incredible. 400th Indy Lights race today. Just not much more to say. Thank you to everybody at Anderson Promotions, IndyCar, for having Mazda out here. This is truly the path. You want a career in open wheel, you want a career in IndyCar, you go through the Mazda Road to Indy. It is all about driving matters. It is all about the drivers behind these cars, and let's have a good race today.
I know John Doonan gets a great sense of satisfaction, as does Dan Anderson. Yourself personally, to see young kids like Zach Veach have dreams of being race car drivers, and through this series they're able to do it. It must be an incredible feeling.
Yeah, look at all the names here on this grid that we know are going to have futures in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Just like Zach Veach, like Spencer Piggott. We could not be more proud of these drivers. We could not be more proud to be associated with this series. And thank you to all the fans showing up, sticking through some bad weather, and the Indy Lights kids are going to put on a great race for you.
So if that doesn't answer it, the reason these folks are on the track should be tuned into this race, Indy Lights race number 400, it's because they're seeing some kids that are going to be racing IndyCar in the next few years.
Absolutely. The proof is here. You're going to watch it later on this afternoon in the Verizon IndyCar Series. These drivers have gone through USF 2000, Pro Mazda, Indy Lights. You will see these young men and women in Indy cars in the very soon future.
Half of Anderson Promotions, the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires, IndyCar, and all of our tremendous partners for the 400th time. Drivers, start your Mazda engines.
Dan Anderson, the architect of the revival of the Indy Lights Series, gives the command for the 400th time. Set to go racing here for race number 400 in the history, the great history of the Indy Lights Series presented by Cooper Tires. Only fitting that it is a second-generation driver, Colton Herta, who is on the pole. Kyle Kaiser to his outside, and that white and green Juncos machine, a pair of red machines in row number 2. That Soul Red, the Mazda Scholarship winner of Aaron Telitz, to the inside, to the outside, Nico Jamin, yesterday's winner. Out of turn number 17. These drivers will try to gap and feel their way out into turn number 1. Green flag is out. We are racing for the 400th time in the Indy Light Series presented by Cooper Tires. Nice start for Colton Herta. He'll jump into the lead through turn number 1. Kaiser will follow him into second. Yesterday's winner, Nico Jamin, picks up a spot to grab third, and we've got problems towards the back of the pack. 2 cars have gone off course. It is Pato O'Ward who had a little bit of help. Zachary Clayman DeMello got into the back of him. Clayman DeMello will continue on. O'Ward is buried in the sand, but Michael Young, the rest of the pack, is through turn 5.
Yeah, the top 8 clean through, but Shelby Blackstock battling with the outside, I should say, Mateos Lace. Lace will get that spot. Then it's Blackstock, Santia Arrutia, Nicholas DePerro looking to the outside of Arrutia. There to you, Jake Query.
Colton Herta works his way now out of turn number 8 and turn number 9 as a full course caution comes out, and it comes just at a time when Kyle Kaiser was trying to close that gap, about 3 car lengths behind the leader, Colton Herta. But Nick Yeoman, this race begins like yesterday's did as well, under a full course caution.
Davey, this is an incident, and it was a battle for about the 6th position on the track. 2 cars taking the wide way around turn number 3. O'Ward and that yellow Team Pelfrey machine, and Clayman DeMello driving for Carlin Racing.
Yeah, Clayman DeMello just got in too hard, just pushed up and got out of his line, pushed right up into the side of O'Ward, and Ward had no chance, really. I mean, just ran him out of racetrack, turned him around.
So Pato O'Ward has 3 members of the Homatro safety team there. They're going to hook some toe straps and pull him out of the gravel pit there, Rob, out into the exit of turn number 3.
You know, I'm not sure if this plays into it, Nick, or not, but the entire field except one driver started this race on Sticker Cooper tires. It was Zach Clayman DeMello, Davey Hamilton, who actually started this race on scuffs. They used all his tires up in the qualifying run, so he was on scuffed tires for this race. Maybe he thought with those scuffed tires he may be able to get a better jump, knowing that those tires would come in a little bit earlier after those 3 warm-up laps.
Yeah, that could have been. That's a good point, because and probably what happened is they had enough heat with that extra lap and the new tires, and they probably had just a little bit more grip than his scuff tires, and he drove it in there like it was going to stick, but didn't, and just slid right into O'Ward.
Pato O'Ward has gone a lap down as the Homatro safety team continues to try to retrieve that car. Zachary Clayman DeMello, though, has brought that car to pit lane to the attention of the Carlin Racing crew, as well as our Ryan Marine down there on pit lane.
Standing down just outside of the pit box here for the Carlin Racing driver, Zachary Clayman DeMello. He comes in for the crew to give a quick look at that race car. They're going to remove the left front tire and replace it with a Sticker Cooper. Interesting, as Rob noted a moment ago, this is the only car that started on scuffed tires. The car's still up on the jack at a moment. Now they're going to go ahead and go around and replace the right front tire as well, and that will be another sticker going on the Zachary Clayman DeMello car. It's been a tough start to this season for the young Canadian, who also made a sports car appearance at the 24 Hours of Daytona earlier this year. But he's going to be dropped down off the jacks and headed back out on track here shortly.
Yeah, and if he hustles, he might be able to stay on the lead lap, but tough break for both of those drivers. Came into this weekend, Pato O'Ward 5th in points. His deal is not necessarily confirmed for the full season, so he needed to continue picking him up and laying him down in terms of great finishes. Had a great start to the year at St. Petersburg with a 5th and a 3rd. He was 8th in yesterday's event. And as for Zachary Clayman DeMello, Ryan talked about it, a rough start at St. Petersburg, but did have a top 5 finish yesterday, as most of those Carlin Racing machines had a pretty good day yesterday. They put 3 in the top 5, but the field has been cleaned up, or the incident has been cleaned up. We're going to go racing in turn 17. Big jump for Colton Herta. He's going to clear Kaiser by about 8 or 9 car lengths and see the green flag. That was a heck of a jump. Davey, he jumped on that throttle early.
Yeah, he got it really, really early. Turn 13, he was already up to speed, so he got a jump on the field. Gives him a nice little cushion between him and Kaiser, so no pressure at this point early on in the race.
Michael Young, Colton Herta will lead him out of turn number 4.
About an 8th car length advantage for Colton Herta over Kyle Kaiser. Then it's Nico Jamin, Aaron Telitz, Neil Alberico. They're your top 5. Mateus Lace looking to the outside of Dalton Kellett. That is the battle for 7th position. Nice little battle there as they exit turn number 7, now working their way down to turn number 8. But again, a commanding lead for Colton Herta.
It's interesting, Michael, because it's when you go into that long sweeping right-handed turn number 9 that the car can get a little off balance for you and somebody can make up room. It seemed like Herta might have had that happen at the beginning of the race, but then, of course, that caution came out. It couldn't come to fruition. Kaiser this time by as they scream through 10-11, still not able to close the gap.
Herta the leader, followed by Kaiser, then yesterday's winner, Nico Jamin. Aaron Telitz is in 4th. Neil Alberico runs in 5th. A lot of these drivers, Davey, bailed out with the early incident because on the single file restart, you can find a little bit more room. Further back, from about 7th on back, though, nose to tail, not a lot of room to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a good race. And as we talked about yesterday, in yesterday's race, how close some of these guys can stay together. And it seemed like, you know, first few guys kind of checked out for themselves, but from 4th on back, man, it was a great racing. And Colton Herta made part of that as well, having to try to find his way to the front.
Little tire lock up, and we've got one car around. Santi Urruti has spun it to the right, back to the left. Now he sits right in the middle of the racetrack at the exit of turn number 3. He'll fire that aero machine back up through the grass, may clip the gravel. No, he'll keep it off of it, but Davey, looks like there's some damage to the front of that wing.
Yeah, he has some left front nose wing damage. I don't know if that happened earlier in the race, and that was a little bit of a cause of maybe the incident, or if that happened during this spin that he had. And it looked like he may have got down on the inside dirt or in grass and tore that nose wing up.
So the miserable start to the season for Santi Urrutia, one of the championship contenders, continues. Davey, we're going to get a replay. He was attempting to pass Shelby Blackstock there. Not sure if there was contact made at all.
No contact. Looked like he just really took that low line through there. And when you do that, when you take that low line, it's actually offline just a little bit because you have so much momentum and really trying to turn that car. It's hard on the front tires. And when he went off, he hit a sign, actually a sponsor sign, and that's what tore his nose wing up.
So tough break for Santi Urrutia as he has fallen to the tail of the lead lap, which is 13th right now. As for Colton Herta, though, he'll pick up and lay down lap number 5. How about a pit report from Rob Howden here at Barber Motorsports Park?
Yeah, Nick, tough one here for Pato Award after getting looped around by Zach Clayman DeMello. Damage to the front nose. It was a bent wishbone, bent toe link on the right front of the car. They went to work trying to see if they could straighten it out a little bit, but once they got it done and he refired, they elected to shut it actually off. So Pato Award out of the car already. It's been a tough weekend at Barber Motorsports Park for a guy that won 7 Pro Mazda races in 2016.
Michael Young, you've been watching the battle about mid-pack between Matheus Leist and Nicolas DePero. That's a battle for 7th in the last couple laps. They've been mixing it up quite a bit down there in turn number 5.
Indeed, last time by, Dalton Kellett was able to get around DePero. That happened in turn number 5, a nice outbreaking maneuver by Dalton Kellett. That time by, getting a little racy was Matheus Leist. Looked to the outside, then the inside. DePero able to hold Leist off, but Leist on the charge about 3 car lengths behind that machine number 31 of Nicolas DePero.
Davey, interested to see Santi Urrutia stay out on the racetrack with that damaged front wing?
Yeah, and right now there's a piece of wing hanging off that left front wing. And oh no, he actually did have contact. There's another angle from a different camera angle going into turn 2. He actually did run into the car in front of him, and that's what damaged his nose wing and caused the spin. So whole new outlook of that now from what happened.
And we see Urrutia coming through turn number 17. Looks like he may stay out on the racetrack once again. As for Colton Herta, though, smooth sailing as he'll head Michael Young down to turn number 5.
Indeed, and for Colton Herta, that restart was key. He just made a huge jump, got way ahead of Kyle Kaiser. That gap now about 15 car lengths. The next battle, Nico Jamin was 3rd. He's battling Kyle Kaiser for that 2nd place position, but he's about 8 car lengths behind. The real good battle here is that Nicolas DePero and Matheus Leist. Other than that, we're single file, clean and green thus far.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Leist and DePero, Shelby Blackstock's getting a really good peek in at that, Michael, but right now Leist trying to close his way. Kellett now has started to close the gap or run away from that trio, but again, that probably right now, to your point, Michael, the best battle on the racetrack.
Colton Herta, your leader by 1.5 seconds as we are 6 laps into this event and just about halfway through this current lap. It's Herta, Kaiser, Jamin, Telitz, and Alberico. That is your top 5. Dalton Kellett runs in 6th. Nicolas DePero is 7th. Matheus Leist is 8th. Shelby Blackstock is 9th. Ryan Norman runs in 10th. Juan Pedrojita is 11th. Garth Rickards is 12th. Those are the 12 drivers that have not had any issues so far today. Santi Urrutia's spin has dropped him back to 13th. Zachary Clayman DeMello is now 4 laps down in 14th. Pato Award out of the race in 15th. He is down on pit lane, and we're going to get a catch-up with him momentarily. Up front, though, see a nice battle. Take a look to the inside. That's going to be a pass, Michael Young, by the 22 of Neil Alberico.
Boy, got down into turn number 5, did some outbraking, muscled a little bit to number 9. of Aaron Telitz. So a nice job by Neil Alberico, move him up one position. He now running P4.
Alberico now trying to close in and get a peek at that podium, but he's got a long way to do it because Telitz is running away. Those top three starting to run away and hide.
Let's go to pit lane and catch up with Pato O'Ward. Rough day, Rob Howden, that young driver out after just 2 laps.
Pato, not the day you were looking for, not the weekend you were looking for, coming in here after a pretty good start at St. Petersburg. That was one of those deals where you're just rolling through turn number 1 and turn number 2 and contact from behind.
Yeah. I don't think I hit anybody in front. I was just following, I think it was Neil. We were going in the outside of turn 2, but I guess someone inside of me, I think it was Clayman DeMello, accidentally, I don't think it was intentional. I think he accidentally ran into my right side. It bent my front right, and then he kind of kept hitting into me, so I lost it. We both lost it. We both went out, and it's a shame. We had a terrible day yesterday, and today's even worse. So I don't know what that's going to do for the next few races. I'm just going to have to play the waiting game and see what's going to happen. But, very negative weekend, honestly.
We hope to see you back in Indianapolis.
All right, thank you.
Thank you a lot, Pato. I talked to actually team manager Gary O'Neill. They were able to get the front of the car fixed, Ryan Moraine, but they had so many rocks in the back in the diffuser, they decided just to hold their driver, Pato O'Ward, in pit lane. They didn't want to jump on the racetrack and just drop gravel out on the track. So really a good call, good sportsmanship for Gary O'Neill and the guys from Team Pelfrey.
Yeah, definitely a tough weekend for Pato O'Ward, another guy who falls into the without bad luck, he'd have no luck at all category here to start the 2017 Indy Lights season is Santi Urrutia. We chronicled his issues on the track a little while ago. He has since come into pit lane and had the nose changed. They gave it a quick glance over, no structural damage to the race car, so once the nose was replaced, they released Santi to get back out on the racetrack, but well out of the fight at this point, guys.
Well, what a rough weekend for Santi Urrutia. Got ran over, had the rear wing of that car tore off yesterday, and the incident here is going to really affect the points championship. Keeping an eye on the battle for 7th, Michael Young. Nicholas DePero in that green and white Yukos car trying to hold off Matthias Lace.
Last time by, Matthias Lace looked to the outside. Not so this time, following through, but Ryan Norman getting a little racy with Shelby Blackstock right behind him. The gap between all those cars about 3 car lengths as they exit Charlotte's Web through turn number 7, now down into turn number 8. Again, that battle for 7th position.
The old proverbial throw a blanket over him. Dalton Kellett, who runs in 6th, has himself about a 25-yard advantage before that quartet. Ryan Norman is right there, to your point, then a long way back before you get to Juan Pedro.
Dave, you've been watching it. Laced in that 26 for Carlin Racing appears to be a little bit faster around than Nico DePero. Tough thing is there aren't a lot of really great passing opportunities to get around here.
Every time they get to turn 5, Lease really tries to get to the outside of him, but just has no bite, no traction, and can't get going there. I'm sure he maybe uses some push to pass going down into that corner, but man, how difficult it is to pass here. It's so fast. Every corner you go into is so high speed, it's hard to set a guy up. So that's where this high braking down in turn 5 makes it so exciting, but that's really the only good opportunity you have to pass somebody here.
Herta, Kaiser, Jamin, the top 3. Alberico, Telitz, Kellett, 4 through 6. We're keeping an eye, though, Michael Young, as Nico DePero roars out of turn number 4 in 7th position.
Yeah, he gapped himself a little bit that time. Matthias Lace still about 3 car lengths behind as DePero exits turn number 6. A shout out to Aaron Telitz, currently running in the 5th position. Had a tough time here this race weekend, but for him in the point standings, able to start at the front of the field, doing very well, I think, here in the 400th race for the Indy Lights Series.
You know, since Telitz was passed by Alberico, Michael, has gotten himself now a lot of space between the two of them. The field now starting to pace itself out and separate just a little bit. In addition to that, wanted to point out that point that Davey had made about the inside line here having moisture. Obviously not a huge issue, but that now is just about 90%. This track is about 90% dry, guys.
Davey, visually watching these cars go around, they look just as smooth as they did yesterday. That speaks to how good that track has dried up and rubbered in here in the early part.
Yeah, and we're looking at lap times, and they're about 3 seconds, 4 seconds off the pace of what they were yesterday, but you got to remember a couple things. Qualifying mode, you're a little bit faster for one, and it's a little bit lighter. And that all the rubber has been washed off this racetrack, and that rubber just adds grip for these guys. And now they're the ones laying the rubber down. to hopefully make it good for the IndyCar Series. It's right after this race.
11 of 35 laps in the books here at Barber Motorsports Park. Everyone chasing after the rookie points leader, Colton Herta, who caught a nice break with qualifying being rained out this morning. He would have been a threat for the pole regardless, but as a result of qualifying being rained out, Colton Herta has started from the pole, and he has led all 11 laps. Kyle Kaiser is 2.4 seconds behind in second. Nico Jamin 4 seconds back in third. Neil Alberico 6.6 seconds behind in fourth. Aaron Telitz at an even 9 seconds back in fifth. Davey, this, of course, the 400th race in the history of the Indy Lights Series presented by Cooper Tires. I've had a chance to call a few of them. You've had a chance to call quite a few more, I'm not going to lie. But still, this series, the history and the talent that it's produced over the years, dating back to the inaugural race in 1986, it's pretty spectacular.
It really has been. It's such a good stepping stone to get to the next level, and that's what is so special about it. And these cars are proper race cars. I mean, these things are first class, nice race cars. They have a lot of speed, and it's such a good stepping stone to go to the Indy cars. So their 400th race, pretty amazing.
And it's only fitting, right on cue, Ryan Marine, we hear from one of the winningest car owners in the history of the Indy Lights Series, and you're standing by with him on pit lane.
That's right. Sam Schmidt has been as associated with this Indy Lights Series as just about anybody over the years. Of course, the series celebrating 400 races here today. Sam, you don't officially have a car in the race, although you are involved in the Santi Urrutia program with Brian Bellardi's program over there. What has that program meant to you? How did that come about to help Santi out this year?
Well, basically, yeah, we have been involved since the very initiation, having 7 championships, and it's been a totally legacy of our team, and we wouldn't be an IndyCar if we didn't have the Indy Lights team to start with. So we had sold a considerable amount of our equipment to Brian and some other teams, and so when we got the opportunity with one of our sponsors to kind of get back in a competitive way and have our sponsors and partners be able to root for another person on Sunday, it was a good opportunity to win rooms for both. Sandy finished second with us last year in a heartbreaking finale in Monterey, so we just want to do anything to help him, help his career. For us, it's all about advancing drivers in the IndyCar Series and advancing teams, and so if we can still be a part of it this way, that's a good thing.
And to your point, a lot of people think of the Road to Indy ladder as something that's there for drivers, but it's been an effective ladder system for team owners as well, yourself included.
No, absolutely. I was looking at the Indy 500 grid, and I'm proud of the fact that I think last year 13 of those drivers have been through our Indy Lights program, and the 400th running or 400th race is a perfect example of that. And we have seen a lot of teams graduate as well to IndyCar Series from Indy Lights. So mechanics, engineers, and teams. So it's a great breeding ground for sure.
And how about your IndyCar duo? James in the Fast Six in qualifying. Mikhail's been nipping at his heels all weekend. Do you feel like you've got a good package to go for a race win this afternoon?
No, we do absolutely. This is 3 races in a row for Fast Six for James. And Mikhail was quicker in every practice session and just didn't get the reds exactly right. So he's learning quickly, and we're hoping he can continue to push James throughout the rest of the season. And we know he's got lots of aggression on those big ovals, super open speedways, and he's good momentum for the team, and we know we can win now, and we know we're there every week, and I think that's what takes it to get it done.
Thank you very much for the time, Sam. Best of luck to you and yours this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, Nick, back to you. Sam Schmidt, certainly a guy with a lot of success here in the Indy Lights, and without a doubt, a couple of drivers who have a chance to win a race in the IndyCar race later on this afternoon.
Davey, I'm not sure Sam Schmidt's Verizon IndyCar program has ever been stronger. I mean, just a couple years ago, they're battling for a championship with Simon Pagenaud at the wheel. Now with James Hinchcliffe, they start on the pole for the 100th Indianapolis 500. They win the race at Long Beach last week, but not too long ago, Sam Schmidt's organization was strictly Indy Lights only.
Yeah, exactly. And this was the opportunity, and I was actually part of the program when he first started, which was nice to transfer over to IndyCar. And actually, when I got hurt, I was driving for Sam, so he's kind of played with both series for a long time. But he has a team that dominated Indy Lights, or had the team. And now he's in IndyCar, and he won the last race. He's been on poles for the 500. They're in contention. He has a program put together, really second to none. He learned all the structure and what the people and how it needs to be done, all from Indy Lights. And that's another great thing, not just for these drivers, but as Sam said, just for the teams to learn how to go about it and become an IndyCar owner.
Sam Schmidt's organization, one of the many great stories in the 400 races history of the Indy Lights Series. Michael Young, that battle for 7th kind of become a battle for 6th as 2 cars have caught Dalton Kellett.
Boy, I thought Dalton was going to pull away from Nico DePero. He did for a while, but now that gap has closed back down. As they exit turn number 6, it's about an 8-car length advantage for Dalton Kellett. 6th position. 7th then is that Nico DePero car, and then in 8th it's Mateus Lace as they get to Jake Query in turn 9.
I'll tell you what, in watching DePero trying to get that spot back on Kellett, last time by, it seemed a little bit closer. Laced is right there should anything happen, and that all 3 of them now, that group starting to separate themselves from Shelby Blackstock.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because, again, Kellett looked like he had the 6th position locked down, and now all of a sudden DePero and Lace decided instead of battling with each other, let's see if we can run down Dalton Kellett. So again, that is a battle for 6th. They would all like to be in the top 5. Those 5 spots held down right now by Colton Herta with 19 laps to go. He has led every single one so far. Kyle Kaiser is 3.3 seconds behind. Nico Jamin is in 3rd, 5.3 seconds behind. Alberico is nearly 8 seconds back in 4th. Aaron Telitz, 10.9 seconds back in 5th. So, Davey, while things tighten up towards the back, boy, Colton Herta charging through this field and ripping apart this racetrack here at Barber Motorsports.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, you got to remember, it's cool out, so it's probably a little bit easier on tires, although with the fresh racetrack, sometimes it wears your tires a little bit more because it's laying some rubber down. But he had a 1.5 second lead just 10 laps ago. Now he's at a 3.3 second lead. So definitely outpacing the field right now, continuing to pull away. Clean and green in front of him, which as a driver, that's exactly where you want to be.
Of course, Colton Herta drives not just for Michael Andretti's Andretti Autosport team, but this is a partnership with the Steinbrenner family. George Michael Steinbrenner, one of the youngest members of that family, co-owner of this race car. That's awful cool, Davey, to see. You know, we talk about Sam Schmidt and developing those Indy Lights partnerships that we've got a new owner on the
Yeah, no, and I don't think he misses a race. Every time, you know, I think he's been at every race, is really into it. And it's showing Brian Herta actually on one of the screens, and you know that Brian's just wishing this race was over. It's always hard to watch your kid race, but man, the kid has so much talent, does such a good job. It's exciting to watch.
Again, the first and only full course yellow came from a incident involving Pato O'Ward and Zachary Clayman DeMello, as Matthias Lace is going to pick up a spot, move around Shelby Blackstock, Nico DePero. They both got by the 28 cars, Dalton Kellett. But let's hear from the other driver that was involved in that first yellow. Zachary DeMello was standing by on pit lane.
Zach, always unbelievably tight up in turn number 2, 2-3 wide. You got up there, you rolled in there, trying to carry as much speed as you can, and kind of just ran out of room. Give me your thoughts on what happened up there in the contact with Pato O'Ward.
Yeah, I went to the inside, and Pato went around my outside. I was full lock with the wheel, couldn't turn much more. I just started to move out a bit, and he didn't give me much room, and we just made contact and tangled awkwardly. It's a really unfortunate situation.
Overall, how do you consider your weekend? You guys are getting up to speed here. The Carlin team is kind of gelling. You had some speed. Give me your thoughts on how the weekend went overall.
Yeah, I was catching up since we got here. I missed the test due to a flight that got canceled, so it was always tough to begin with, and throughout the weekend we got better and better. My race pace was really strong, and I like the track, and I'm happy with our result other than today.
And good luck at Indianapolis in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Nick Yeoman, all these drivers, these guys on the sidelines right now already changing the focus, changing that target to the Indianapolis Grand Prix.
It's kind of what you have to do, Davey, isn't it? You have a bad day, you got to look to the next weekend, and boy, it helps a lot when that next race weekend is at the corner of 16th and Georgetown.
Yeah, I mean, that's a race for everybody, right? I mean, if they win a race, they want to win it there. Now, there's 2 races there now, right? I
Three,
mean,
actually. There's 2 road courses.
Oh, that's right. They're twice
the
on the road course. That's right,
yeah.
Twice on the road course. But the crown jewel is the Freedom 100.
No doubt.
I think that's the one that they all want to win, and you know, hopefully they want to get there in the big cars as well. So it's exciting for us. May's getting ready to be honest. We got one more race at Phoenix, and then ooh, man, the 31. We're he's a little bit loose down there in the final corner, but it's exciting to get Indy going. Yeah.
So for guys like Zachary Clayman DeMello and hopefully Pato O'Ward, they will look towards Grand Prix weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As both of their days are done, O'Ward will finish in 15th, Clayman DeMello in 14th. 16 laps to go as the leader, Colton Herta, crosses the start-finish line, heads to the Alabama roller coaster. His lead over Kyle Kaiser is 3.5 seconds. Michael Young, you've been keeping your eye on that leader all day long. How smooth has he been to that portion of the racetrack that you've watched down there in Charlotte's Web?
Yeah, I've been watching him through at the exit of turn number 17 as well. It's about picture perfect every time that he has come through. Just now entering turn number 7 as he went through Charlotte's Web, and that gap continues to increase between he and Kyle Kaiser. As I said, a picture perfect day thus far for young Colton Herta.
Herta comes into view out of turn number 8 and works his way all the way down that 90-foot elevation. As he exits turn number 9, Kyle Kaiser is just now getting to the bottom of that spiral. So he's got himself a very healthy advantage. Again, the field really has spaced itself out. That battle on the racetrack that's been a good one to watch, that battle for 7th, Lace still keeping DePero right there in sight, but still can't make the move.
Davey, for those joining us online, they get the pictures along with the IndyCar radio audio. They're seeing the onboard shot of Colton Herta. Moments ago, just saw him reach up and rip a tear off of the helmet. Now, that's something you see most of the time at dirt tracks, but how dirty can that visor get at a road course like
Well, it
this?
should be too dirty because he's led every lap, and
there's
it's nothing
nobody
but
in
fresh
front of
air.
him.
Now, he may have got a big bug or something on his, sometimes you get some bug and you can get a little bit of debris up there, but he just, he probably has them, thinks he might as well use them and keep it clear. But you got, if you are watching this is our leader. This is the guy checking out from the field, and look how much hand movement and work that he has, and how much overcorrection that he has, and I mean, obviously the car's really good, but it's a lot of work in these cars, and you can see by his hand movement.
I mean, just driving the 2-seater, I mean, how physically is it? Because the physical loads you feel, it's part of the racetrack he's going through now, one of the toughest spots, I would think, down there in turn 8.
Yeah, one thing about it is turn 8 is difficult, but you're fairly slow through there, but it's about grip. You want more grip, so it's not really wiping you out, but it comes now into these corners. This is where the car really, really loads, and this left-hander is not bad, but as soon as you get down here at the bottom, right there, you're going uphill and just turning so hard over a blind corner, so it unloads, and now it loads again when you come into these final corners, and it is definitely a physically demanding racetrack, no question about it. Now today, it was pretty easy because it was wet, so you can't go near as fast for us in the 2-seater, but this is a very, very physically demanding track, and you got to remember the Indy cars going another 5 seconds a lap faster around here than these guys, so it just almost, it's difficult for everybody.
These drivers have to remind themselves to breathe, I imagine, on some of these parts of the racetrack.
Yeah, well,
your breath and,
yeah,
gripping that steering wheel.
Well, that's one thing. By the time you get to this level, you are a very experienced racer, and you came from up through a lot of other forms of racing, and it does take that comfort zone every level you get to just to be relaxed, to really be able to feel the car, and you learn all that because of that. Make sure that you breathe right, just naturally when it's good. But when you're hanging on and you're just learning, it is a challenge for all these guys.
Colton Herta, your leader, with 21 laps down, 14 to go. You're at Barber Motorsports Park. He is your points leader in the Indy Lights Series presented by Cooper Tires as we celebrate the milestone 400th event in the history of this great series. Herta is your leader. Kaiser sits in second, 3.8 seconds behind. Nico Jamin, another one of those rookies, went to victory lane yesterday, sits poised for another podium finish as he's in third. Neil Alberico is fourth. Aaron Tielitz in fifth. Nicholas DePero is in sixth. Just a 1 second lead for him over Matthias Lace. Of those two, have kind of been hooked like a magnet all day long. They both got around Dalton Kellett moments ago, who sits in the 8th position. Shelby Blackstock trying to run down Kellett right now in the 9th position. Ryan Norman hot on his heels in the 10th position. Juan Pedrejita is 11th. Garth Rickards is 12th. Santi Urrutia is a couple laps down in 13th. And again, 2 drivers out of the race. Zachary Clayman-DeMello, who will do no better than 14th today, and Padua Ward, who's going to finish in 15th. Let's pick up that battle, though, with Dalton Kellett and Shelby Blackstock. Again, this is a battle for the 8th position. Dalton Kellett was looking for a top 5 early in this race. That car appears to be going away a little bit, Michael Young, as that red and white Velarde Auto Racing car of Shelby Blackstock begins to hunt him down heading to turn 5.
Yeah, he may have used up those Cooper tires. Blackstock within a car length now of Dalton Kellett. They make their way through Charlotte's Web, turns 5 and 6, now exiting through turn number 7. Kellett able to pull away about 3 car lengths now, but Shelby Blackstock really closing the gap as they enter turn number 5. They finish now into turn number 8.
Ryan Norman had started to get right on the rear of Blackstock the last couple of times by, but then that duo, and perhaps it's because Kellett all of a sudden has Blackstock there and Blackstock started pushing. That gave Shelby Blackstock a little bit of separation, gave him some breathing room over Ryan Norman just behind him in 10th.
Davey, how tough is that to have a 3-car train to be that car in the middle like Shelby Blackstock trying to run down Dalton Kellett, but Ryan Norman's close enough there to at least make him feel the pressure.
Well, right here, Blackstock needs just to play offense, but it's so hard to do because you're getting pressured from behind too. And sometimes when you play offense, you're vulnerable because you may take a move and it may slow you down or get offline a little bit. That allows the guy behind you to take advantage of you. So it's very difficult, but at this point in the race, he definitely needs to play offense. Try to look ahead, pretend there's no mirrors in the car, which, like I say, is hard to do, and just try to go forward.
Michael Young out of turn number 5. That trio heads towards you.
About the same gap between the 28 of Dalton Kellett, Shelby Blackstock, and the 48 of Ryan Norman. The trio, they exit turn number 6 right now. A nice battle I've been watching as well is that between the number 22 of Neil Alberico and the 27 of Nico Jamin. That's a battle for third. We still have a way to go. I was talking with Jack Harvey, who was Neil Alberico's spotter. He goes, he's getting close enough to use that push to pass, and he thinks Neil may be able to catch the third place Nico Jamin before this one is over.
Let's go to pit lane and hear from Dan Anderson, standing by with Rob Howden.
Dan, pretty big day for the Indy Lights program, pretty big day for Anderson Promotions as well. The 400th race in the history of Indy Lights. I know you guys have been involved in only a portion of that, but it's just grown so much. The new Dallara IL-15 has been such a great part of the component of the program. You have to be thrilled right now.
How do I feel right now? I feel terrific. Anderson Promotions is so proud to be involved in the Indy Lights Series, thanks to IndyCar for all they've done over the years. 400 races. We've only done about the last 10% of the races, but we hope to carry the legacy on of advancing drivers into IndyCar. There's a lot of talented kids in the Mazda Road to Indy ladder. We're moving them up more and more in recent years, and the future looks bright.
And that's something to see here this weekend. We've got a couple of great champions we've had before. Spencer Piggott, of course, Ed Jones, Zach Beach in the car as well. IndyCar this weekend, you got to be just over the moon to watch these kids really starting to get into the program.
Yeah, they're like my kids. I watch the timing sheets, and I keep an eye on all the kids that came through the series, and some of the older guys that have been in the series for a while. Joseph Newgarden, James Hinchcliffe, Charlie Kimball. They all came up the ladder as well years ago, and even Elio and Tony Kanaan. There's a lot of talent that came out of Indy Lights and the Mazda Road to Indy, thanks to Mazda and Cooper for all they do.
A lot of the discussions we're having right now is that USF 2000 program this year. The drivers may be the best we've ever had since you guys launched the Mazda Road to Indy. 24 guys in the field in the brand new USF 17, and there's so many unbelievably talented drivers. That's going to be the future of this program moving forward.
Yeah, I don't think the IndyCar drivers are yet worried, but they probably need to look over their shoulder. There's a lot of talent coming up the ladder, a lot of very aggressive young kids, and the youth movement is on.
And you will complete the update of all the levels of the program next year with the Pro Mazda car, the PM18. It was tested last week. Rave reviews on that car as well. So 2018, we're going to have new cars on every level of the Mazda Road to Indy.
Yeah, we'll be completing the transition of the whole Mazda Road to Indy to state-of-the-art cars, and the value of each of these cars is great. Dallara builds a great lights car. Tatis builds the other two levels. So they go Tatis, Dallara, Dallara as they move up the ladder.
And congratulations on a great program, and congratulations on race number 400.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Nick Yeoman, this is a big program down here. And again, we talk about how many guys we have here this weekend who have been through the Mazda Road to Indy, and of course the Indy Lights program as well. Wait till we get to the Indianapolis 500. We add even more Indy Lights graduates when we head to Indianapolis in May.
Yeah, guys like Jack Harvey, guys like Zach Beach have confirmed Indy 500 rides. Gabby Chavez will be back in the series, running the Indianapolis 500. The defending series champion of this event, or of this series, I should say, Ed Jones, has a full-time ride driving for Dale Coynes. So there is a lot of talent that has come to this series throughout the 400 race history. And boy, we just continue to add chapters. And Colton Herta right now looking to add another chapter of his own. 9 laps to go, and his lead has ballooned up to 5.2 seconds. Best battle on the track continues to be that battle for 9th. Kellett, Blackstock, and Norman, Michael Young, head up the hill out of turn number 4.
Yeah, indeed. And for Dalton Kellett, that car just mellowed out a little bit. He had a pretty good hot rod, I thought, for quite some while, and as we had said, maybe he'd use those Cooper tires up. Every time Shelby Blackstock gets to that rear wing, he puts himself back into a better position and gets on that accelerator a little bit quicker, hits that throttle, now able to gap himself about 8 car lengths ahead of Blackstock. That's the same distance back to Ryan Norman.
Yeah, that trio about evenly spaced now, and as a matter of fact, falling back just a little bit is Norman. Blackstock right now finds himself in the middle of 2 cars from the team he rode for a year ago and in the form of Andretti Autosport.
8 to go for Colton Herta as he is your leader over Kyle Kaiser, Nico Jamin, Neil Alberico, and Aaron Telitz, the top 5. back to pit lane to hear more from Rob Howden.
Yeah, Nick, I got a couple of Mazda Road to India race winners already this year. Reigning USF 2000 champion Anthony Martin running for Cape Motorsports this year in the Soul Red Mazda Scholarship car. You won the championship last year. You debuted in Pro Mazda this year at St. Petersburg about a month ago, and you came out of the box to win 2 races, Anthony. You got to be absolutely jacked that you were able to get those wins, come out of the box strong, and now you're thinking championship.
Yeah, it was a solid start for the Cape Motorsports crew for the start of the season. We're 16 points ahead in the championship, so it's a perfect way to start for us. So really looking forward to see what the season holds for us, and I can't wait to get back in the car.
Give me your thoughts on the transition from the USF 2000 car to Pro Mazda. Obviously, slicks and bigger wings, more aerodynamics, bigger tires, and of course 100 more horsepower. How was that transition for you?
Yeah, it was quite difficult. I mean, obviously it's a lot faster car, and you got to drive it a lot different to what you drive it in the USF. So it's definitely a challenge, but I love the challenge, and I think we've adapted quite well to it.
What kind of pressure are you putting on yourself now going to Indianapolis for the next race? You got the point lead, 6 rounds this year. You're thinking championship, or are you relaxed right now? Just want to go in and get another good result?
I'm just really looking forward to get back in the car. We know that the car's going to be solid, and it's really just going to attack it like every other weekend and go at it, hard. And as always, the Cape Motorsports crew are going to give me a great car, so I can't wait to get back in that Mazda car and go for it.
And we'll see you at Indy.
Yeah, see you there.
Let's move over to a guy here right now who's getting the job done. He won the $200,000 scholarship shootout back in Monterey in December. Oliver Askew, what a start to the season. You and I have talked numerous occasions already that you came into the series and you tried to keep the expectations real. You wanted to get some good results, make sure you finished top 5s, top 3s, but 3 wins in the first 4 races, a big point lead. Wow, that's a big start.
It's fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season. In the beginning, my mindset was to just look for points, but I had the opportunity to win also with I have an extremely fast Cape Motorsports car. And so I just took the bull by the horns and came home with 3 wins.
Dominic and Nicholas Cape, obviously the big team. They've won so many championships in USF 2000. How have you blended with those guys? They're different dudes for sure. They pressure their drivers a lot. They expect good greatness. They expect excellence out of their drivers. How have you adapted with that? Is it kind of the way you felt when you were trying to win championships in karting?
Yeah, every day I spend with them, I learn so much. Every day at the track I learn so much, and I think I'm surrounded by a lot of great people at Cape Motorsports right now, and they're really molding me into a great driver. And
3 wins obviously gives you a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. How do you yourself hold back the expectations that you may push yourself too much? Are you feeling the pressure, or are the expectations you have still realistic?
The expectations are still realistic. I'm just looking for points again, so I'm not really paying attention to my points lead right now because I just got to keep finishing in the top 5 at least.
Hey, good luck in the next race.
Thank you so much.
Nick Yeoman, 2 great champions down here in the Mazda Road to Indy, both for Cape Motorsports. Let's go back to the action on track.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of those drivers in victory lane in the Indy Lights Series in the very near distant. Michael Young, we've been watching over the last handful of laps this battle for 8th between Kellett, Blackstock, and Norman, and things just about spilled over into turn number 1.
Boy, they did. Dalton Kellett was running right down the middle. Blackstock dives to the inside, and then Ryan Norman dove to the outside. The big winner there, Shelby Blackstock. Kellett able to hold on to that position of 7th place, or I should say 8th place. But man alive, I thought we were going to have an incident there in turn number 1 as Shelby Blackstock forcing the issue as that ailing Kellett car, Ryan Norman, trying to battle again for that position here in the closing laps.
Davey, for a split second, they thought about going 3 wide.
Yeah, it was close. Well, I think they almost tried, but then just ran out of room. But they came out clean. But Blackstock did a nice pass. I mean, he broke Kellett and made the pass. And so, hats off to him without touching, but it was close.
Yeah, he got awful close. But I'll tell you what, one driver that may be feeling the pressure here in the closing laps is Nico Jamin. He runs in the 3rd position, but Jake Query, as they head to you down the hill, he's got Neil Alberico on that rear wing.
Yeah, you picked that up, didn't you, Nick? Because I noticed that last time by. I thought, whoa, wait a minute. Alberico all of a sudden wants to make himself in that podium mix. He right now is about 15 yards or so behind Nico Jamin, but you get the feeling that 22 machine might have a little more speed to it, and he's just waiting for that right time to pounce. Couldn't do it last time by between 9 and 10.
Jake, how about Shelby Blackstock down the hill leading that train towards you?
Yep, Dalton Kellett is right there. Blackstock takes a little bit wider swing through turn number 9. Kellett keeps his car to the middle of the racetrack. Nonetheless, still not able to make up any sort of a gap, but Ryan Norman is right there should Blackstock make a mistake.
A lot of good battles throughout the course of the field. We see that week in, week out. Out front, though, Colton Herta's lead is now 6.6 seconds with 4 laps to go. Boy, Davey, Dalton Kellett's car has just really gone away from him because, boy, look at Ryan Norman all over that rear wing.
And this is the time of the race where these Cooper tires are such a great tire, but with this green racetrack, probably putting a little more rubber down than normally, and so the tires may be wearing out just a little bit quicker, that's what makes it great. You know, you need to have your tires, you don't want them great the whole race. You want them to go off. You want these drivers to have to drive a loose race car around or a car sliding around. So it is moving around. He definitely has, his balance has changed as the tires get old, and he is doing all he can to stay ahead of Norman.
Here he comes, Michael Young. Ryan Norman looking for 9th.
Battle for 9th, the outside. Ryan Norman locks him out. Kellett swings wide in turn number 6, forces Ryan Norman to the rumble strips. Now it's a drag race down into turn number 8. They are even as they make their way through that little kink underneath the bridge. Ryan Norman to the inside of Kellett into turn 9.
Slung right past him to the bottom of the racetrack. Kellett now tucks in, tries to get his way towards the inside in turn number 9, but cannot close the gap back. Ryan Norman now sets off in pursuit of Shelby Blackstock, does so with Kellett about 10 yards behind him.
That's a big pass for the rookie Ryan Norman, trying to continue to impress for Andretti Autosport. Just 3 laps to go, though, up front for Colton Herta. That lead is 6.9 seconds. Over Kyle Kaiser, who runs in the 2nd position. Then you've got Nico Jamin running in the 3rd spot. And Michael Young, he's trying to hold off Neil Alberico into turn 5.
Yeah, again, we've been talking Jack Harvey, I said, in spotter for Neil Alberico and I. He's been using that push to pass. He still has some left. And every time we think that Neil is going to actually close that gap to Nico Jamin, Jamin able to pull back away just a little bit. Actually, the gap was a little bit closer just a couple of laps ago. And with 3 to go, unless Nico Jamin makes a mistake, it may be hard for Alberico to get around.
So it's Colton Herta making his way around this 17-turn road course here in Birmingham, Alabama. He's got a 7-second lead, and Davey, just 2.5 laps to go. It's been a dominating performance for Colton Herta.
Yeah, he can definitely just put on cruise control right now. Just don't put any wheel wrong, and he's got this thing made. And how impressive is that from that rookie? Wins in 2. That'd be 2 wins for him already out of 4 races this year.
How about the start for Kyle Kaiser? 6th and 4th at the 2 races at St. Petersburg. 2nd yesterday. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd today. And, you know, despite Colton Herta impressing everyone, if he can hold on to that 2nd spot, he's only going to be 16 points back after 4 races.
Yeah, you know, not bad. I mean, Colton has such a points lead right now. It's pretty impressive. But if you look at everybody else behind him, with like Kaiser and you know, Alberico even at 69 points. T-Les still at 74. So they're back a ways. They need things to go their way in the season and not let Colton Herta get too far ahead of them.
And of course, one of the biggest winners this weekend is Nico Jamin, who went to victory lane for the first time in his career yesterday. And he is poised to hold on to that last spot on the podium. We talked about that battle. Neil Alberico started to close, got within a second, and then over the last couple laps, Jamin's been able to pull out to a 1.1 second lead over Neil Alberico. But still, strong runs for Alberico, strong runs for Jamin and Kaiser, but nobody is having as good a day as Colton Herta, as he will make his way through turn number 17, and he's going to see the white flag for the final time, Davey Hamilton. That car has been absolutely hooked up.
He has nobody in front of him, can't see anybody behind him, just like he's out there by himself on little test runs. So perfect day for Colton Herta. A little tire smoke, which he doesn't need to do, but going down into turn 2, but what a smooth day for him.
Second generation driver Colton Herta, Michael Young, in your view for the final time today.
Such a magical weekend with the runner-up finish and the win in St. Petersburg a month ago. What looked to be a disastrous weekend yesterday, able to fight back to a 10th place position. But for this junior in high school, picture-perfect race number 4, the 400th in this Indy Lights campaign, and the winner potentially will be Colton Herta. Jake Query, bring him home.
3 weeks before his 17th birthday, he got his first win in the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. Now just about 3 weeks after his 17th birthday, Colton Herta is well on his way to win number 2, coming into form, Nick. here at the Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama.
He'll make his way past the fans sitting underneath the trees for the final time. Eddie Lawson won race number 100 in the Indy Lights Series. A.J. Foyt the fourth, the winner of race 200. James Hinchcliffe, the winner of race 300. Out of turn number 17 for the final time, the winner of the 400th race in Indy Lights history will go to Colton Herta as he streaks across the start-finish line and goes to victory lane here at Barber Motorsports Park.
First repeat winner in the 2017 Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and it happens to be the youngest driver in the field, Colton Herta. Colton, congratulations on scoring the win of the 400th Indy Lights race.
Thank you. It was awesome, and to do it on the 400th is even better.
Tell me about the race. You guys really bounced back after some bad luck yesterday in race number 1 here. Race 2, a very different story, though.
Yeah, well, we started on pole, and we had new tires, so it's just about cruising and kind of keeping the tires in their operating temperature, and yeah, it worked out, and the tires never went off, and we had really good pace.
And then finally, just talk about the physical nature of this track. Barber Motorsports Park may be the most physically demanding track this series will go to all year. What's the toll like on your body after 2 races here this weekend?
Oh, I'm ready for a big nap. It's super physical. Probably here in Mid-Ohio are equal as the most physical tracks. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired right now.
Colton Herta scores the win here in the 400th Indy Lights race, and he's ready for a big nap. Colton, congratulations.